Hello students, so today we're going to go over the second skill of the week, which is FGG. So if you're watching these videos because are working on the skill FGG, which is subtracting integers using number lines. So yesterday you learned how to add integers using number lines, so today you're going to learn how to subtract integers using number lines. So in the same way as yesterday, we're going to pick the number where we're going to start according to the problem given. So in this case, I will start at -5. So if you check in this one here starting at -5, this one here starts at -5. Now you got to remember also that whenever you have a number line, if you go to the left is because you are subtracting a number, and if you go to the right is because a number it's positive, right? So if you go to left it's negative, if you go to the right the number is positive. So look how the second number given on the problem, it's a -3. If it's a -3, that means that the number is negative, so I need to go to the left 3 units, which I would do here. 1, 2, 3. So for that reason, the correct number line for this problem would be the second one. And whenever I do -5 and -3, that's equal to -8. Okay, let's check. Okay, let's see some other examples. Look at this problem here. Start the same way. Check on the number that you start. So in this case, I'm starting on 4. So look how this one is the second number line is the only one that starts at 4. So we automatically can delete or eliminate the answer, the first one, because it's not even close to what we need, right? We start at 4. Now it's telling me that I need to do -9. But if it's 9, then 9 is negative, which means I would go to the left 9 units. So I'm going to do that here, which if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I end at -5. So -5, that would be my answer for this problem. And the number line, the second one. So let's check. And we got it right. Now let me do this one here. Where do you think I will start for this problem? Yep, I will start at +5 because that's what the problem is giving me here. So +5. So look how this one starts at +5, but this one's starting at +5 too. So they both could be correct. Now, what's gonna define if it's actually the right answer is the second part, which is the -6. Every time you have a negative number, you gotta remember that it would go to the left if it's a negative number. So that means that my line needs to go from whatever I start to the left, which is if you think that this would be the answer, that's not correct, because look how actually the arrow is going to the right, and look how this one it's actually going to the left. So how many units? 6 units. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it ends on -1. That means that 5 and -6, that's -1. Oops, I did not select the line. The line would be the second one. There you go. Okay, let's get ahead to see what type of problems are you going to get when you get like to the 50s. Okay, let's do this one. It is exactly the same thing because you have to start on the whatever number they give you at first. So it's +4 here. So you have +4. That means that your answer could be either or because they both start at +4. Now, the thing is that you need to remember what happens when you have two negatives together. And that is that if you have a negative and a negative, you need to remember that a negative and a negative, it's equal to a positive. So basically you would have 4 plus 4. I mean, we know that 4 plus 4 is 8. So if you want to type that answer here, it's correct. So 4 plus 4 is 8. You also need to be careful because starting like at this point, the number lines are not going to go by 1 unit every time that you count. So you gotta be careful with that. Look how on this one, every line counts by it goes by 4s. So that means that's why they only like put like one little line, jumped like one little line and landed on 8 because it's going by 4. So please be careful on these type of problems as well. So the correct answer is 8, and the second number line is the one that represents this subtraction. So let's check their answer, and we got it correct. Okay, let's try this one here. So I will start at -12 according to my problem, -12, which is right here. And ooh, The first one is not even, it doesn't even have a negative 12, right? So, I mean, the first one automatically is not correct. Now, why is it the second one correct? Well, I have a negative 12, and then check how you have a negative 8. It's a negative number, so you would go to the left. And I count 8 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm counting by ones because the number line goes by ones. And it landed on negative 20, which it would be the correct answer when you do negative 12 and negative 8, just negative 20. And then correct number line is the second one. Okay, let's get ahead to the 80s to see what you would see on the 80s. There you go, right here. Okay, this is exactly the same, so you also need to be careful with the signs, because if you do not understand that when you go to the left is because you have a negative, and when you go to the right is because you have a positive, then you're gonna get it wrong. So let's see for this one. Well, something for sure I know it's that whatever my line starts, that's whatever I started the problem with. So in this case it's 4. So that means that I will start my problem with 4. Now maybe I'm not sure what goes here, but I know that my answer would be whatever my line ends, right? Which is this number here. So that number is actually a negative 6. So I'm going to type here negative 6. The problem is what goes right there. That is a problem. So something I know is that the line goes from the right to the left. So it's going actually to the left, right? Because the number is negative. Now you gotta think about before typing a negative inside the box. Why? Because if I type a negative inside the box, I would have 2 negatives like that. That at the end would become a positive, and that would make the number actually go to the right. So because of that, I will consider the negative that is right here. And because of this negative, I know my number would go to the left already. The only thing I need to figure out is what number should I type here. And that's what I need to do to know that. I need to count. How many units am I going to the left to get to negative 6? So look how it's going by 2. So consider that before you count. It's going by 2. So I would do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the number I would type there, it's 10. One more time, I'm not typing a negative in front of the 10, because if I type a negative, I would have 2 negatives and it would make it positive, and it would make that 10 go to the other side, and that would not be correct. So it would be only the one that it's given. Why? So it can go to the left, and it would be negative 6. Now let's try this one. So I'm going to check where I'm starting. In this case, I'm starting at 15. So I start at 15, which is right here. So I'm going to type it right here. It's 15. Now let's see where I'm ending. I'm ending right here, which is the 20, negative 20. So I'm going to type negative 20 right here. Now I need to make sure what is it that I need to do. Do I need to add? Do I need to subtract? Well, think about it. If you go to the left is because you have a negative number. If you go to the right is because you have a positive number. And look how the arrow is actually going to the left. So I need to have only one negative sign. One more time, please. In this case here, if you need a negative, make sure that you understand that if you go to a negative, you only need one negative sign, because if you put 2, that's going to make it positive, and it's going to make it go to the other side. Now, how many units do I need to go to the left? Well, I can count that here. Look how it's going by 5. So you would do 5. So you need to count by 5s as well. So you would do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. So it would be 35. I would not type another negative. Make sure you understand it. I will not type another negative because that's going to make 2 negatives be here if you do that. And it's going to make that 35 go to the opposite side, which is to the right. And that's not what the arrow is showing you. So it's just going to be like that. Now let's check if that is correct. Okay. Let me get out. I cannot get ahead more. So I think those are all of the problems. So I'm just going to finish this one. And then that's it. So, and this problem, I'm starting at negative 14. So I'm starting right here at negative 14. So I'm going to type, and I'm ending at negative 20. So I'm going to type that here. So I know where I start. I started at negative 14, and I know I will end at negative 20. Another thing I know is that I'm going to the left, so because of that I would have a negative number. So if I have a negative number, that means that I can only have one negative sign here, which is the one I already have. So I would not type another one. So now what I need to do is I need to check how many units do I need to go to the left. Well, in order to know that, I need just to count the units. In this case, they are going by ones. So if I count by ones, I'll get it right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 6 here. Until we get it right. There you go. And that's it for this skill, guys. So hopefully you understood, and let me know if you have any other questions. So see you on the next skill. Bye-bye.